I'm probably not going to be going to watch Barbie because already with all the movie reviews coming out about it, there's a little bit of controversy.
There's a little bit.
At least a couple of things,
Mhm.
that's coming out about it, and people are
Well,
saying some things.
right. There's some uh, common criticism we're seeing coming out of Hollywood these
Mhm.
days.
Yeah.
However, I did want before we jump into that, can we look at like what's being said on like Rotten Tomatoes, how people are feeling about this?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Let me go ahead and share this screen. Here we go. So for the Barbie, and it's only been out a day as of
For
recording
the
this,
Barbie.
right? Uh, I'm correct. Only one day, right?
Mhm.
Comes out
Well,
Thursday night.
Thursday night, yes.
Today,
Yes.
really. Um, so scoring. So not a ton of people have seen it yet. Only 5,000 plus have done the
Mhm.
rating.
Mhm.
So
But it's generally liked.
generally liked.
Yeah.
It's down to 78%,
Can we see
right?
what people are actually saying about it, though?
5,000 plus ratings, 1,000 plus ratings. So it drops from that to that.
Yeah. It's not a huge drop, but it is a drop.
Mhm.
I say let's take a quick before we get into the controversy. Can we look at Oppenheimer really quick?
Sure.
Since that's been out for today as well. I'm just curious to see how many ratings they've got and what it's sitting at.
94.
Interesting. Hold on. Yeah, all right. It's
And
already very much liked. However, 2,500 plus ratings. Not the
Mhm.
other Barbie had
Yeah.
5,000.
That could so that could change
it means
That's
as
that
the
it's
days
strange.
all
go on.
fake.
But everything is keeping us in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
As of right now. So it's out for a day. We're still in the 90s. Barbie's in the 80s and 70s.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. Very interesting.
Um, so let's go back to why were we not gonna look at what people are saying, or are we just gonna talk about what
I just
the
wanted to look at the percentages.
percentage? Okay.
We'll talk about what people said later.
So people are saying, I mean, I guess we could mention the map thing. There's a weird controversy around. There's a map in it that has like Asian. People are saying this is like an Asian propaganda film. That's a whole other story from this
Mhm.
controversy. But
That's
the
like a political issue, right?
there's
That's
yeah,
like
that's a political thing,
politics.
and I'm not going to quite touch on that. I just wanted to mention it because we did see that too. But the main thing that I guess uh, most people are saying, I guess more of this. I don't want to just say the conservative, but more the conservative, I guess, crowd is saying that this is a male. What was the exact words that they were using for?
So, Barbie is a movie about male fragility. Let's dig
So
in.
this is from Time magazine. I've read through the whole article. It's very
Time is very liberal though,
it
right?
is very liberal.
Yeah.
Liberal. This is 100% in support of the way the movie tells the story. I just wanted to read through. I do think that the writer of this article has some misconceptions about, um, you know, some of like I think Hollywood in general has misconceptions about masculinity.
Yeah.
Mhm. Of
Um,
course, yeah,
and
no
and
doubt.
this article very much shows that.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right.
but the interesting thing is that in the movie, little bit of a spoiler warning, um, Ken kind of becomes what the movie portrays as a villain because um, he wants to be
Wants to
with
be a man.
Barbie. He doesn't understand why she doesn't, you know, like respect him or want to be with him,
Right.
even though it's just kind of like she's Barbie, she's living in her own world.
Mhm.
And he's kind of made to be part of her world, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when he goes out into the world, he realizes because he's a man that he can get a lot of respect um and the movie displays that as a negative thing that men get respect from other men and that the only way that men get respect is by being rude or mean or hateful or creating a structure, right?
Yeah.
It's not because that because of love, or because of like actually being friends and respecting each other, or like good qualities. It's all
Yeah.
negative qualities.
It's like, oh, hello.
So
Are you a man?
this article even goes as far as
Respect.
to put this movie into like, they talk about it in the same breath as Don't Worry Darling. Is that what that movie was called?
Yes, and I
So
I didn't know anything about that, and I watched it, and I hated it. That
yeah,
is
the
the
movie is kind of
worst.
it's a terrible movie.
I'm
Mhm.
saying this as a man, and then but as a straight white male, but people might still take this and be like, "Oh, well, you don't count because you're." But that was after watching that, I have never felt so, I guess, insulted for not doing anything
Mhm.
and for just being a certain person. And I'm not saying I know how people are going to take this. They're going to be like, "Oh, a white male is finally seeing hardship or finding not everything not being great after years of stuff being great for them." I it was the worst movie ever. I go back to
Mhm.
what you were saying. Why I don't.
Well, I just so the article says that Ryan Gosling's portrayal of Ken in Barbie is a is lighter and funnier than some of the more serious takes on the resentful man who works to repress the women around him. Heyman is right that we empathize with Ken. He's ignored by Barbie, and we root for him to find his meaning. The issue is, I don't think a lot of people are gonna um, get behind that, because
Mhm.
a lot of guys understand and feel what it actually is like to be a man, and
Right.
the certain societal things that are heaped on top of you. And when you go into a movie and see that it's just um, see that on at the most base level of kind of what you're feeling, nobody respects or cares about that. And in fact, even in the probably even in the funny ways that it's like we make this a joke. I don't think a lot of people are going to see that as a joke, in the same way that I'm sure a lot of women don't see, maybe some of the, maybe some of the stereotypes about women that are a joke as a joke,
Mhm.
right? About the behavior and things. It's complicated, and
Yeah.
it's strange that this is such a big part of the movie, that you would show for Ken. And even in this article, it goes as far as to say that Ken is a um he's like a background character to Barbie, but I think everybody kind of knows who Ken is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Especially even after Toy Story, everybody knows who Ken is. Ken
Yeah.
in Toy Story is an awesome character. He
Yeah.
really he's kind of like a man, but also a man who really likes fashion. He's very much like a man who becomes brave, and he becomes the things that a man should be in the like.
Bro, you're injecting way too much purpose into this Ken
Yeah.
character. I
Wrong.
think you look up to
Ken is
Ken way too
Ken
much.
is the best character in Toy Story 3. He
Yeah.
is.
No.
He
No,
absolutely is.
no,
He
you're injecting way
recognizes
too much.
no, no, no. He recognizes when he's wrong, and that he shouldn't be doing these things, and that he wants to help the person that he loves, and he stands up to somebody who is a bully. That's awesome. That's an awesome lesson to
Okay,
teach.
look, I gotta inject, go back to what you were saying earlier.
Mhm.
This being referred to as, you know, men aren't going to resonate with it or not really
Mm.
see it as a joke in the same way that women haven't seen other things as a joke. I got to push back on that because I'm actually in favor of hurtful humor. I think if it's
Oh,
for the
yeah.
jokes, make it
Yeah.
hurtful. And I don't
Yeah, yeah,
care if
yeah,
it's at the
yeah.
expense of men. I'm only like what I think with this, I don't think this, there is meant to be funny here, but I don't think the annoying part is the funny at the expense of men. I think the annoying part is that like there's a woke agenda behind it.
Well, it's
There's a
not
woke agenda that's, like,
funny at
meant
the
to be
expense of men is like we get it. We know, like,
And it is
that
funny. I
things
think
that
it
we
should be
do.
hurtful.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that we do that are stupid and
Yeah.
like hilarious.
And
But
and
I
and
I think making
likewise.
I think making like I don't know. We live in a weird time of um, turning it into like a weird social commentary.
No, and
Yeah.
it's because of probably Greta Gerwig,
Like
and
Yeah.
it's these
it
woke
can't just be
directors.
like funny tropes that men do or funny tropes that women do. It's like
That's what the rom-coms
that's
were, and
that's
that's why
what
they
it
were so
should be.
great, right?
But it's funny jokes that men do plus, a book worth of uh uh social justice nonsense
No,
Yeah.
it's
for
like we
either
have to.
side.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna make fun of men. Great. I want people
Mm.
to laugh at men. 2, we also need to educate men to learn how to be better.
Yeah,
That
that's
is a
such
problem.
weird. That's
That's weird
weird.
as crap because
It's
It
like
no, that's not what
I
men
want
are
to
gonna
go into a
resonate with.
movie and laugh at a guy being an idiot. We've done that, thousands of
It's
times.
our favorite thing to
But
do.
I don't think anybody wants to go into a movie and laugh at a guy being an idiot and then get
A woman
preached
teaching
to
him attention a
about
woman teaching him, how to do
about
right.
how to not be an idiot
um
Right, and she comes out as some kinda
or how
Jesus
you will
character.
continue to be an idiot, but we'll help you, I guess.
Right,
it
right.
it kind of makes me very nervous, and I know we look at things like this and we're like, "Oh, but this person's going to be directing something else." It makes me nervous that they're going to be directing that.
Narnia?
I yes,
Yeah,
admit
so
I
it.
Greta Gerwig is slated to
If
ruin Narnia.
she
Yeah,
makes
that's
any
the right
kind of
terminology.
yeah, if she makes any kind of
She will,
agenda in these movies,
especially when
then
everyone is just gonna blow her horn and her praises for this
Mm.
movie, so she's gonna come into Narnia with a hot head thinking she's incredible and destroy C.S. Lewis, who not only was an incredible storyteller, not only was an imaginative
it's going to
mind, but
be
was a man of God, and she's
Mhm.
going to obliterate his work of mastery.
it's going to be like Amazon Prime's Rings of
Rings of
Power
power.
I
and
hold
ruining.
on, I think it'll be worse
We'll
Ooh.
see. We'll see. I don't want to.
because
I
Well,
don't want to
think
put the
about this.
cart,
Think about
my
this.
horse before the buggy.
No, I'm prepared. So look, Tolkien's work was ruined. We love Tolkien work. He was a
mm,
master. He told a brilliant story. Amazon Prime ruined it. Fair. The exact same thing's going to happen in Narnia, except Narnia was written as an analogy for
Yeah,
for Christianity and the relationship with Jesus and what Jesus
mm.
did for people as a savior. That is also going to be obliterated, which is more egregious than just Tolkien's work being obliterated. It's C.S.
Yeah.
Lewis's work
yeah.
plus the analogy of
Somebody who doesn't understand, um, you know, men in general, how do we expect this director to understand the decisions that these characters make as uh, children, as young men, as young women in these situations in a high fantasy kind of
I
setting.
I already
They're not
can.
going to understand that.
I can
She's not going to
already
be able to do
probably
that.
understand, and I understand why they would lean into this, but I
Mm.
already can see them leaning probably towards like Lucy's story. And Lucy was, especially in like The Lion, the Witch, and the
Yeah,
Wardrobe,
she's a
if that's
prominent
where they
character.
start out,
she's a
she's a very
main.
prominent character. She's very, she is the one who goes into
Yeah,
Narnia first. And
I
there is
think it's
that.
like I think it's
But
like Lucy and Edmund, like they're
Mhm.
contrasting each other.
yeah, but if they twist it and almost just put more emphasis on her character, they're going to ruin the whole story when she is a very pivotal part, but don't I already could see them doing something like
Well,
that.
the one I see that would be really bad is The Horse and His Boy,
Yeah.
Mhm.
um, because that's a very masculine name for a movie. Um, but it also has a very heavy emphasis on um, Aravis. Her character is running away from a arranged marriage with an evil man, and she
Mm,
saves Shasta, and Shasta saves her, and there's a lot of like friendship and love between these two characters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it would become a, a Little Mermaid thing where it's just about her doing her thing, and also she saves Shasta along the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I think with, like, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the obvious thing to do there is to be like, "We're gonna be edgy, so let's
Mm,
blur the lines between relatability with the witch and demonizing Aslan." You know what I mean? Let's try
right.
to get them to meet in the middle so we can see, we know how the story ends, we have to end it this way, but we can see, the good inside the witch, and we can also see the evil inside of
Inside of
Aslan.
Aslan. Yeah.
That's the direction they would take, which
Yeah.
is totally anti what the
It's
story is
like
supposed to be
it's like
about.
going back with what a lot of these movies do. It's like with Maleficent or Cruella. It's like going back and making a villain sympathetic
Yes.
when these movies should be more like Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to see those kinds of villain movies where the villain is the villain,
Just a bad
and
person, and
you
they end
know
being a bad person.
maybe they do start off as a good person and terrible things happen to them, but I want to see it end with them being a heinously bad person that does things you can't come back from.
Yeah.
Right.
Because in the end, like, Darth Vader couldn't come back from all the things that he did,
Mm-mm.
No.
He
but
died with them.
yeah, he did. He
He
died
died
as
as Vader.
Hater.
Darth Vader. Um, I mean, he saved Luke as
Yeah.
Anakin, but he's buried as Darth Vader essentially.
Mhm.
I mean, famously, he said it himself. He had to live with slaughtering them. I slaughtered them all.
Yeah,
The women
yeah,
and the
all of them.
children.
So yeah, back to Barbie. No, I am
This is gonna
probably gonna watch this movie.
not in theaters,
I'll.
bro.
I don't know that I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
enjoy it too
I don't
much.
know. I don't
I don't
know. We'll
think,
see.
look, I think the humor's probably good. I think, and although maybe it was Greta Gerwig who wanted, Amy Poehler to be, initially
You mean
the
Amy
Barbie.
Schumer?
Amy Schumer, not
Shoot.
Amy Poehler. Amy
Yikes!
Schumer.
I'd prefer Amy Poehler.
Yeah, truly. But if I'm glad they didn't go with her, but if Amy Schumer and Greta Gerwig are, friends, and it was Greta's idea to possibly
Mm,
take Amy as this role,
Mhm.
that speaks volumes as far as like who she is
who
as
she
a
hangs out
person,
with.
as a creator. Yeah, who does she run with? And I don't want anyone associated with
No,
Amy Schumer to
probably
come
not
Amy
within
running.
Schumer Amy
a
Schumer
hundred
said it
miles of
wasn't
Narnia.
Amy Schumer said it wasn't feminist enough.
That's crazy.
And it seems like it's pretty feminist.
Yeah, I think the whole thing, it's supposed, like, that's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
Which is
It,
fine.
and
I'm not anti-women at all. I'm
no,
just very anti this culture of anti-men, you
yeah,
know?
the thing about it is, like, these social messages that are, in these kinds of movies, I don't think appeal to kids. I don't think
No,
it
you're
talks
right.
it talks down to half of, the people that might watch the movie, boys that
Yes.
might watch the movie. But if you're trying to make a movie for girls, clearly this isn't a movie made for girls. It's a movie made for women,
Yeah, dude, you
Yeah.
you were right, and,
like wine moms.
that's what you said on the reaction to the trailer. You said it early. This is made for wine moms who gave up on their dreams,
Mm,
you know?
the gassed up mids,
Gassed up
if
mids,
you
that's
will.
right,
Yeah.
and you're totally right, dude, and a lot of people still are hating on you for that comment
Yeah.
in the
Look,
comments for that video, but it does you're right.
I
That's
haven't
who this
looked at
video is
that
for.
comment,
That's
the comments on that video, but I bet they're wild.
but dude, that's who this movie's for, because it's definitely not for kids, not only with the
Mm.
messages and the jokes, but also probably with the sexual innuendos. It's probably
Yeah.
pretty sexual.
I don't know that there's I don't from what I've read, I don't know that there's a ton of sexual innuendo because technically they're toys, right? I don't know that they
You don't
have.
think there's gonna be
It
at
is
least
PG-13, so
15 of them,
there's
15
something to
minutes
make it
about
PG-13
Yeah,
over
well,
PG.
from what I've read, I don't think they're portrayed as kind of like the way that they are as toys, where they don't really have genitalia. I don't know that they don't have genitalia in the movie, or if they're more like almost like Adam and Eve, where they don't think about that kind of stuff.
But you don't think
They
they're
just
leaning into that a lot and just like
no, I don't think
acknowledging?
so. I mean, they're definitely probably going to acknowledge that's like there's clearly something between these two characters, but because they're toys and the way that these toys are designed, they don't do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
You
Well,
know, we'll see. We'll have to see about this Barbie movie. There's a lot of red flags, and we're not just hating on it because it's a woman. It's a starring a woman. I
Mm,
think it's really about the creators and less about the actors and the lead of the film. It's really
yeah.
about who the creators and what the agenda behind the movie is.